This is W.B. Treacy here, and this is my horse Danny Alley. One of the 3 remaining horses of 21 that was taken out of the racing industry for their own protection. This horse received horrific treatment and was brought to a race course sick in 2008, which is a vet's report here on this horse, which showed he was brought injured and had ringworm, and the Turf Club, because their welfare rules are silent and they've no role, gave total disregard and covered it all up. This is a young stallion in colt by Namid, and this horse was prepared for racing in 2010 as a 2-year-old, and he could not participate in racing because of the Turf Club and Horse Racing Ireland welfare rules were silent. Now, as you can see, this is a colt, a young stallion, and he has a temperament like most horses. If treated with any bit of kindness, they will give back what you give. This horse here, again, is a horse that was got ready for racing in 2010, again a 2-year-old by Orphan, and this horse had to be kept out of racing for his own protection since 2010. Again, you can see all these horses want is a bit of care, kindness, and looked after. Unfortunately, with welfare rules silent in a racing industry, that doesn't happen.
Again, my name is William P Treacy. You may have seen my first video of what happened to my horses in Downryle. One of my horses now acting. Now I want to get into more detailed relations with you, the public, you the Irish citizen, regarding your taxpayer money and your citizen money, and how you paid for services that weren't delivered, and my horses suffered as a consequences. But more importantly today, what I'd like to talk to you about is how far this government and the CEOs of Horse Racing and Turf Club were willing to go to cover up wrongdoing, even the most despicable, disgraceful wrongdoing involving innocent animals, i.e. my horses. I talk today now about another one of my horses, Rio Grande. Rio Grande was a fantastic horse, beautiful horse. He was like a family member to me. He was in a trainer's yard, and Rule 20 of the Rules of Racing says that the Turf Club must send out a vet and a steward to oversee the welfare and well-being if anybody has a concern. I had serious concerns. I asked the Turf Club to send out a vet under Rule 20. The Turf Club told me to get lost. You got the trainer, you take it up, you deal with it yourself. Public money paid for the Turf Club to deliver that service. This went on for a month. Horse Racing Ireland were saying that it was the Turf Club's job to go out and investigate. This went on for a month, and my horse, when I ended up, what I classified as paying virtually a ransom of €2,000 to get back my horse. When I got back my horse, Rio Grande, this is what the vet's reports read on this horse. Poor coat condition, poor condition and underweight. Multiple skin abrasions on his head from the head collar, multiple bite wounds on his body, multiple kick marks on his legs, ringworm on the girt area. This misfortunate horse, Rio Grande, I got back in an appalling condition. All of these injuries, I believe, or certainly most of them, could have been prevented if the Turf Club sent out vets. If Horse Racing Ireland, who paid the public money when they knew the Turf Club weren't delivering the services, they had went out. Here is a second veterinary report from the same hospital on the same horse, Rio Grande. The injury sustained, the locking mechanism in this horse's legs weren't operating correctly. Later, this horse, this companion, this friend of mine died as a result of the horrific, horrendous treatment and negligence by the Turf Club and Horse Racing Ireland. Now, who tried to cover this up? The Turf Club, Horse Racing Ireland, Minister Coveney, Minister Simon Coveney, the Minister for Agriculture, Food and Marine, the CEO of Horse Racing Ireland. And it went on until 2012, and when the CEO of Horse Racing Ireland, I'll give you a letter, the 15th of May 2012, the CEO of Horse Racing Ireland wrote to the Public Accounts Committee in a 2-page letter. And to the Public Accounts Committee, the CEO of Horse Racing Ireland makes out that all my complaints were investigated thoroughly, where they fell under the remit and the direct responsibility, and the HRI ensured that my complaints were investigated by the relevant authority, where they were outside HRI's direct responsibility. And at the bottom, the CEO of Horse Racing Ireland, Brian Kavanagh, says, I am fully satisfied that Mr. Treacy's complaints have been properly investigated. Well, I have some startling news for you, the Irish citizens, because the Turf Club told the Public Accounts Committee that they had a vet's report which was at variance to my vet's report on Rio Grande. It took me over a year, maybe a year and a half, to get my hands on this vet's report the Turf Club wouldn't give me. Lo and behold, prepare yourself for a surprise. The vet's report that it took the Veterinary Council of Ireland to get was not on my horse at all. It was on another horse, which is named, you can see here, Rio Grande. Rio Grande is a horse that was supposed to be based in England. And this vet's report is on one horse, not mine. This vet's report is my horse, and yet people thought that this kind of activity was acceptable. Who thought it was acceptable? Let me tell you who thought it was acceptable. The 2nd of November 2011, the Department of Agriculture, Minister Simon Coveney, wrote a letter to the Oireachtas Committee on Agriculture, Food and the Marine. Minister Coveney states, Mr. Treacy's complaints have been investigated by the Turf Club, the regulatory body for horse racing in Ireland, and Horse Racing Ireland, and they found no wrongdoing within the scope of their investigation. No wrongdoing. Minister Coveney was given this vet's report. Minister Coveney was given this vet's report, and Minister Coveney said that there was no wrongdoing, and he has since 2012 refused to apologise. He has also refused to hold the 2 CEOs of Horse Racing Ireland and the Turf Club, who are in receipt of public money, accountable for 1, misleading his department, and 2, misleading the Public Accounts Committee. Even the Public Accounts Committee, when I gave them the proper vet's report and this fabricated vet's report, which is not on my horse, the PAC took no action either. So public money was again paid, as you can see, for services that were not delivered. Why? Because going back to the letter the 8th of the 12th 2010, the Turf Club says welfare rules are silent and they have no role. But this misfortunate horse, Rio Grande, and when I say misfortunate, he was only misfortunate when he left my care. Here we have a letter the 17th of September 2010 from the CEO of Horse Racing Ireland. Brian Kavanagh states here in this letter that with the importance that the Turf Club puts its emphasis on welfare, it will investigate, and it must investigate. This is Horse Racing Ireland who paid the public money over to the Turf Club, and the Turf Club left my horse in jeopardy, left my horse suffer, didn't care, didn't want to know. This is a letter the 25th of August 2010 from the CEO of Horse Racing Ireland, again saying that the Turf Club must investigate. This is a letter where the Turf Club lied to the Public Accounts Committee. And the Turf Club, this letter is dated the 2nd of May 2012. I'll show it you, the 2nd of May 2012. The Turf Club told the Public Accounts Committee here that they had a vet's report which was at variance to the vet's report that William Treacy had, and the vet's report that William Treacy had is on William Tracy's horse. The vets report that the Turf Club, by the way, they refused to give the vets report to the PAC. I had to get the Veterinary Council of Ireland to get it later. But this famous vets report that was at variance to my true accurate vets report on my horse, the vets report that the Turf Club hid from everyone turned out to be on a different horse completely. And Brian Kavanagh, CEO of Horse Racing Ireland, covered up for the Turf Club's wrongdoing. Minister Coveney on the 2nd of the 11th, 2011, covered up for Horse Racing Ireland and the Turf Club. Here we have a letter to 18th of June 2012. In this letter, Horse Racing Ireland says, Horse Racing Ireland has at all times taken your concerns seriously, investigated them thoroughly where they fell under their remit, and ensured that they were investigated thoroughly by the relevant authority where they were outside our HRI direct responsibility. Horse Racing Ireland does not accept that the Turf Club breached its own rules and failed to protect your horse. Well, Rule 20 in the rules of racing, if were adhered to, my horse Rio Grande would not have received all those horrendous injuries. This has been covered up for the last number of years, and Minister Coveney, in order to protect the racing industry in Ireland, while doing that by concealing my case and sacrificing me and my animals, Minister Coveney failed to protect the most important thing in racing, the integrity of racing, which was paid for with public money and was to be delivered because it was paid for, and was not to be delivered by charitable donated money to the ISPCA. This is the video number 2. The next video I will reveal to you who else was involved in this case. The Minister for Justice was involved for 3.5 years. The Attorney General was involved for 3.5 years. And this may surprise a lot of you. This is a massive file of over between 70 and 80 correspondences that the Taoiseach and the Kenny received from me over a 4-year period. And the Taoiseach, who knew the wrongdoing, never held his own minister accountable, allowed the cover-up to go on, allowed the deceit to go on, and no accountability was sought, was engaged, was called for, and this case, believe me, watch out for the next video and you will see in great detail the cover-up.